Hey, my magicals! Okay, so this is a little bit of a strange reading that I'm not reading so much as video that I'm going to make today. Honestly, again, never thought I'd be doing one of these, but here we are. It's not so much an energy update. I went into prayer yesterday and I was doing my cards as always. Like I'd been told by Kelso I needed to go into ceremony, and so I went into ceremony. And I normally use like a couple of different decks. He'll tell me which decks I need to work with, and three of the decks came up with the same cards. Okay, here, Mother Mary, right? Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. It was quite a weird experience for me. I'm not going to lie to you. So I have been told I need to make a video of it because there was a general message that Mother Mary gave to me. I spent some time with her. You're also going to have to bear with me. After we had parted ways, as it were, I had to try and write down everything that had been said so that I could relay the message. Okay. What I want to say here is that it was quite a profound experience. I had been feeling Mother Mary around me quite a lot lately. I've been struggling with some stuff in my personal life, and it really felt like she was just around a lot. So I chose then to do a prayer to Mother Mary, and I had my rosemary with me, and I lit the pink candle, which I have lit now. Okay, and I went into prayer, and I was praying and was invoking Mother Mary for some help. And as this had all happened, she appeared, and I was. Oh, I'm going to sound like the tinfoil hat lady here for a minute. But we kind of went on a bit of a journey together. Let's put it that way. Okay. And what an incredible journey it was. I'm going to go through everything that she said to me because there are messages for all of us in it. It's a collective message. So this is what I'm saying to you. It's quite an unusual one for me to do this kind of thing. I've never done it before. On top of which, I've been guided, let's say I've been guided to draw a card for the collective at the end, and she has specifically chosen the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. So I will do that at the end and draw a card for us. This is not an energy update, guys. I cannot explain to you. I don't even know where I'm going to put it in terms of our playlists, okay? Because I will probably create one. But there is a very powerful energy at the moment around miracles and around all kinds of things. Now, I'm struggling with that at the moment a lot. And I will say to you, I had like a sleeveless top on yesterday because it was hot as Hades. And I had this candle at a higher space and just a little hint of how we know that we are being protected. My arm fully hit the flame. This flame is standing like that, right? You can see it coming up. My arm fully hit the flame, and I did not get burnt. I suddenly like just had this warmth on my arm, but my arm was like literally on the flame. Okay. Um, I cannot explain to you how I felt yesterday. I'm hoping that this will give you some kind of information and some inkling onto how to manage the next couple of months. And I will also give you so we basically went on a walk through a garden. But I will explain to you how everything plays out. Okay, let me just get to it and explain to you how everything plays out. I have never been as honored as I have been to channel Mother Mary. I work with Mother Mary a lot. I know that I'm Wiccan and I'm not a Christian, and yes, I have a rosary simply because it is something on my altar that represents her. But she is certainly around me a lot, okay, and she always kind of has been. So I want to start. I actually may need to wear my glasses because I do not know that I'm going to be able to read my handwriting. it started off where she kind of took my hand and led me through a field of yellow daffodils. That's how this whole thing started. Now, if any of you know anything about flowers, yellow daffodils are the flower of new beginnings. Okay? And in the sky, although there was such peace and harmony around where we were walking through, in the sky there was just this turmoil and like bombs going off and like a real amount of chaos and red skies with lots of smoke, and you could hear the gunshots and you could hear the war in the background. I'm going to say it as it is. You could hear it going on in the background, right? But in this little piece of this garden, we were protected, and we were walking through this beautiful, beautiful field of yellow daffodils. Okay. As we're walking along, Mother Mary started talking to me. Okay, so I'm going to try. I've pretty much, I think, got everything verbatim, so just bear with me. But I literally have full foolscap pages of messages, and so bear with me. Okay. I do have the cards out here with the rosary, so I did say a prayer before we started, and she's very much present in this video today. Okay. Right. In fact, before, I've just been told to spray some heart chakra just for everyone to be open. Right. Oh, I should probably not open. Good idea to put the oil by an open flame. Okay. Right. So, her wording, right? This time now may not appear to be, but it is in fact a time of spring, a new beginning. I'm going to contextualize things because obviously I was in the energy and I could feel the energy of what was being said. There is a huge shift that is going on at the moment, which is what she's referring to, about the segregation between 3D and 5D, but not so much just the segregation. There feels like there's a little doorway opening up now at the moment where we get to decide whether war and violence and aggression are really the right path for us as a collective, as humanity. Okay? And the energy that came from her was one of strong forward movement, but with compassion and gentleness. Right? So that underlying of that's clearly not the way to go. Right? But there is a heralding of a new beginning. You are needing to show levels of courage, this is Mother Mary again, and strength. You may not feel you have and or are capable of, but it is there. Have faith. Right? So now she's talking to us as a collective. I did confirm with her and I said, is this personally for me because I'm going through stuff, or is this a collective thing? And she was like very clearly that this is a collective thing. She said, you're not the only person being affected by what is going on in life. Now, guys, I do also need to just put this out there. I'm not doing doom and gloom, World War III shit and all of that, right? I'm really and truly mean that. There's a potential for it, for sure. But this is about how we are activating ourselves and our energy every single day. So what I mean by that is how we're approaching something. So just a quick example. The other day I was scrolling through Facebook and I thought, I don't even know why I'm wasting my time. There is so much aggression and so much anger and so much really just fucked up shit on Facebook. It is not healthy viewing. So I stopped. I mean, I've got to go on to do my work and stuff like that and see what my friends have put up. But and every time a post comes up that I don't agree with, I just say to them, not interested, not interested. I'm actively removing that energy from my space. I mean, a woman drowning a dog at Heathrow Airport because she wasn't going to make the flight. And I don't need that in my energy. That's traumatic for me. I feel that. All of us feel that, right? There is so much road rage aggression happening all over the world. These Karens doing this, that, the next thing. Forgive us if you are a Karen. I don't mean that personally, right? I'm just saying as a collective, just putting it out there gently in the corner. Stupid shit, even down to like mother-in-laws and friends ruining baby showers. There is so much negativity being pumped into our systems at the moment. Pay attention to where you are placing your energy, guys. Okay? Because I'm telling you now, it is going to deplete us, and it's going to deplete us quickly. And I don't mean to be the tinfoil hat kind of girl here, but when people are feeling depressed and feeling flat and feeling low, They are not going to stand up for what they want and what they believe in. It's that simple. So when decisions need to be made, we are going to inevitably choose the easier route because at the end of the day, it's easier, right? Let's be honest, it's easier. It's not easier. Long term, that's not easier for us, right? But when we are depleted, we don't have the physical energy for it. And this is why she was saying we need to show the courage and the strength, even if we don't have it. That strength may just be going, I'm actually not going to engage in that. I'm actually not going to engage in that. I'm not going to, it's about self-discipline, self-will, okay? There was a very strong energy of how we move forward. But again, like every day, okay, this whole thing about every day kind of came up. She was almost saying to us, we need to work a way for us to actually move forward. And Kelso is just giving you the perfect name. Thank you. Without the cloak of drama. That's exactly it. We can actively participate in the drama or we can actively choose not to. And even in our personal lives, someone comes to my door with drama, there's the door. Don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you, my friend. Forgive. I'm not interested. Okay? We've got enough going on in our lives at the moment. Life is just struggling enough at the moment, not to mention all the retrogrades and all of that bullshit. If anyone has got any kind of weapon of mass destruction, please aim it at Mercury at the moment because that would be doing me a grand favor. Okay, but seriously, right? It's about us gathering our courage and our strength to have the courage of our convictions. Okay. She then went on to say to me, although not obvious, this is indeed a time of miracles. Okay. At this point, we're walking out of this thing now, out of this field of things, and we go into, we went through like a white arched frame with all of these beautiful hanging roses on, and we walked into this rose garden, and it was just pink roses everywhere. Now, if you are ever wanting to do a Mother Mary altar, pink roses are the way to go, rose quartz. That's why I've got the pink candle out, right? Doesn't go with my color scheme at all, but I've got the pink candle out. I've just sprayed the heart chakra, so we are receptive to her messages. She chose the rose deck. Look at the color of the rose deck, right? It's very much that love, that energy of self-love and unconditional love. Okay, so just be aware. We go into this pink rose garden now. Her wording to me. Love is needed now more than ever. You are being called to love unconditionally in times when this seems near impossible. You are being asked to at the very least, so I told you I wasn't going to be able to read my handwriting, sorry. You're being asked at the very least to take a neutral stand on the chaos around you. Okay, so this is about how we respond to what comes into our spaces, clearly. We can get caught up in the drama of stuff, like I've just said, or we can choose not to. It's genuinely that simple. Okay, how we move forward is imperative here. If we look at things like, I'm not going to lie, I'm very human and I have to be honest. When somebody is cruel to an animal, I do severely struggle to find to have pity on their broken, right? But I'm trying, I'm working on that. And you'll see I actually ask her that question for myself in the conversation. But what you're saying is, whatever it is, however you will move forward with love. So if it's saying the Ho'oponopono prayer, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. If something comes up and it's struggling, sorry, my glasses keep sliding from my nose. If you are struggling with something, you're seeing something that you're struggling with, say that prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. It's an incredible prayer, changes everything. It helps you take responsibility for your energy response to it, and it then starts clearing the energy of it. Okay. So if you are not able to do that, then take a neutral response and rather avoid. Okay. Yeah, just step away from the vehicle. Don't allow your energy to engage in these things because all of that stuff is dimming our light. Okay. She carries on to say, bearing in mind now, we've taken a neutral stand on the chaos around us. To carry so much hate and vengeance is not going to be the solution to this problem. The world needs love and light and healing. I think that's an obvious one, really, let's be honest. I mean, the world's fucked. So she's saying that when we choose not to engage in all of these little things, and we choose not to be a keyboard Karen and stuff like that, we choose not to get involved in the drama, we are actively choosing love. Okay, even if it's just self-love, because that's the most important, guys. You've got the longest relationship in your life is with yourself. So make sure that you're doing a good job of that one. It's really an important one. What I do also want to say to you is that she has I at this point went in and said, of course, this comes down to boundaries. And she smiled and she said, of course, Mara, it's about boundaries, isn't it? So again, for those of you who are not good with boundaries, sorry, if you can hear the pitter-patter of newly manicured paws, it's my Alex child on the bed, still sulking from last night's traumatic manicure. Where are your boundaries not in play? Where do you not respect other people's boundaries? That kind of energy. Because if you're watching these videos about people coming into other people's yards and doing all sorts of nonsense and mowing lawns, there's so much negativity pumping through social media at the moment. It is like an open sewage line that is pumping the half of the northern hemisphere straight like into, I mean, I'm not having a dig at the northern hemisphere. What I'm saying is like the quantity of sewage from the whole of the northern hemisphere is like being dumped, doof, or the whole world. Let's just put it the whole world, because I really that made it sound very targeted, and I didn't mean that. But you see what I'm trying to say? There's just like this massive open sewage pipe of negative shit coming out on every kind of platform. Okay, make sure there are even some readers that I've stopped watching on YouTube because of their work now. They start talking about, oh, people have got black magic spells on you. Oh, for God's sake, I can't be asked, right? So you have to start really be discerning with this and setting your boundaries. Okay, very, very important, because there's a flood of stuff coming in, and it is an intentional flood, guys. This message is not by coincidence. This is an intentional flood, right? Trying to dull our senses so that shit can go on and we are not going to stand up for it. We're just going to keep on going with the flow. Okay. I'm not saying you have to don your battle armor. Again, we enforce things with love. But when our resistance is low, guys, when our energy is low, the last thing we want to do is love someone who we think is a twat. Let's be honest. It's human nature. It's human nature. Let's be very honest. Okay. So just bear that in mind. All right. She carries on by saying, if you are allowing yourself to be triggered by all that you see on social media, oh, there we go, and everything happening around you, okay, I didn't finish that sentence. Oh, right. Okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, I understand why. It's basically tarnishing our soul. She showed me this image of a glass jar. I've got an image. Glass jar of water, right? And the water is pure. It's pure and it's clean and it's good. And then she starts pumping. She showed me an image of this black ink being spilled into the water, and the water just slowly but surely starting to turn black, right? So I think her answer to that is that, right? That we are letting that tarnish our energy and ourselves, very much so. We acknowledge that this is overwhelming, but with huge change comes chaos. And by its very nature, chaos disrupts. This is a necessary step for what is coming. Okay, so we all know this. Anything is a mess. When you're moving home, you've got to pack up and move. When you are changing jobs, there's a settling in and a closing off and a settling in. Moving in with your partner, as happy and as exciting as it is, there's a chaos around that. Chaos is not necessarily bad, right? Chaos is a necessary effect for change. It's that simple. And she's saying that they acknowledge that it's overwhelming, but it's up to us how we respond to that. Okay, again, it goes back to that energy. She then goes on, do not let this tarnish your souls. Remain vigilant, protect your precious light, and move forward with love always. Okay. Loving unconditionally is an act of conscious awareness. You need to constantly choose love. If you feel you are unable to offer love in thoughts, responses, words, acts, and deeds, look to where you are not loving yourself. Okay, we go back to that whole thing about self-love and our relationships being the best of. Very often we will be triggered by what mirrors at us, what we don't like about ourselves or in our situations. We all know this. We've been in the game long enough, right? But more than that, when you are struggling to love in a specific way, look at where in your life you have not received that kind of love. And this is going to call for some inner child work. It's going to call for some shadow work. And it's sure as shit going to call for some abandonment issue work. Okay? Um, Love requires that of us. We need to love ourselves. It's that simple. Okay. If all you can do is love yourself and heal yourself, then that is enough. It always starts with you. Now, you sitting in your lounge, right, with your bowl of 2-minute noodles going, well, how does that make sense, Mara? Because at the end of the day, the higher our frequency is, the higher our vibration is, the higher our energy around us is, and that does filtrate out into the great yonder. Okay. So we are in essence able to then raise the vibration of situations around us. True story. Okay. What I want to say to this as well is that love is a frequency, guys. Whether you're giving it to yourself, whether you're giving it to someone else, that energy is around. It's just around you. And what a beautiful energy to carry around you. It's also, I'm going to say this, and this will probably get some people going, I don't believe that if I'm pissed off with someone, I'm pissed off with them. It's fair play. We're human at the end of the day. But there is a serious overload of negativity coming into our space at the moment, which is going to make it harder for us to have loving responses. Okay? Because I would have loved to have booked a flight to Heathrow to find that woman and put her head into a toilet instead of the dogs, right? But you can't do that. We have to go love, light, and all that. I'm looking at why I trigger so badly around animals. Yes, and we're empathic and we feel it and all of that, but there must be something deeper to this because it instills a rage in me which I can't control, very honestly. Um, that's what I'm saying to you. When something triggers you so badly or when you are unable to give something love, look at it. Because the love does need to start with us, guys. Whether we like to admit that or not, it has to start with us. Okay. This applies when trying to respond to external sources. Always show compassion. Take a moment to think before you respond. We cannot know of others' paths, trials, challenges, and fears, but we can respond with a thought to what that person might be experiencing. Okay. So my default setting at the moment is when people do shit like that, I'm like, they've got a mental disorder. Because it's the only way I can cope with that. I go to it's a mental disorder and I label them as like a little bit like, carnival ride. Okay. But we actually don't know. We don't know what the circumstances are. And I'm not saying you have to go through life without checking out red flags. I'm not saying you don't have to go through life being aware and self-aware. What I'm saying to you is we cannot go through life projecting our hatred and our anger, especially the anger that we've got that is related to other stuff that we haven't dealt with. Because it's very easy when something triggers you to just go snap and then just off you go, right? Very easy to do that. So this is really about starting to check in with yourself and find out what you're needing to look at around this. And going that we don't know another's path. Always that same old adage. Always be kind. You don't know what another is going through. It's exactly that. It's exactly that. Okay. So at this part, I ask, I struggle with people who are rude and entitled. How do I handle this? Show them compassion that they have not had the guidance needed in order to work from a place of love. Something has been missing from their life, and it will inevitably be love. She went on to say, there is great sadness knowing that a soul has gone through their journey without love, the love necessary for their personal development. that answer kind of caught me off guard. And I obviously gave thanks for the answer. She went on to carry on saying a few other things around that. But at the core of that, what really got me was that behind every traumatic action that someone commits, there is an unhealed trauma. And as someone who does this as work, not all of you do, but as someone who does this as work, I need to start looking at the compassion of that. That does not justify their actions. Okay, it doesn't justify the actions. But when she said that something has been missing from their life and it will inevitably be love, I have to look at how blessed I've been in that department. And so it kind of gave me a different spin on that to a fair extent. She went on to say, and we spoke about this earlier, respond by setting your boundaries lovingly and stepping away from the situation. No matter the response to your boundary, stand firm in your self-love. And that was an important one for me. So I have certain things that I'm struggling with at the moment where people don't respect my boundaries, even in business. And there are some that I'm choosing to walk away from, and there are some that I am willing to reset the boundary in a different way. What I mean by in a different way is in different wording that they may better understand how my no is a full sentence. Okay? And I thought that her response was I think it's quite good advice for everyone, really. When you do set a boundary, do so lovingly. I say this to you all the time. It's not what we do or what we say, it's how it's executed. Okay. It's vitally important that we execute things well. And again, that comes from love. We stem from love. I think when we talk about love, people are so caught up in the idea of romantic love that we forget that love is everything. It's just everything. We are so caught up in the humdrum of romantic love and what is required for us, or what that means. But we are talking about just the compassion of another soul that's taking a journey that's probably far harder than ours, and that doesn't have the tool set to deal with it. And although that's not our problem, we can choose to engage with it or not. And if we have to engage with it for some reason, we lovingly set our boundaries. And I'm happy to walk away. I've said to you a couple of times on the videos, I am very comfortable with losing people, including clients. Clients who are not good with no being a full sentence. So just bear that in mind. Okay. She then goes on to the collective energy again, and she says there are big shifts coming, and the days. Oh, here we go. I told you, sorry, I'm trying to read my handwriting. The days need to be faced with gentleness, love, and compassion. If you cannot sink into your heart space to feel these things, to forgive and to release, hate and anger and spite, the days will indeed be trying. Choose gentleness for yourself and others. Find internal shelter from the external storms, for there are stormy days ahead. But we cannot experience the true miracle of rainbows without the storm. Now, I don't want this to be perceived as doom and gloom. Okay, this is not what this is about. This is a message of love. I want this to be very clear. But the reality is there's a lot of uncertainty, and how it affects us. And it's affecting me very badly at the moment. Like, I have to own my shit, right? I've got shit going down in my life that is affecting me really badly, when I should actually be able to disassociate from it and take the higher ground and the faith and all of that. And it's been a little bit harder for me over the last couple of weeks to feel that. But that doesn't mean that it is not there. Okay? It's how I'm choosing to engage with it. And I don't want to engage with it, but it's a natural human response. Let's be clear. Okay, so from that point of view. But there is a lot of uncertainty at the moment, and we are needing to really, really manage ourselves through these times. There's no doom and gloom in this because we're all aware of it. We can see it. I mean, really and truly. I mean, just living in South Africa is a survival skill. I mean, really, it is a survival skill. I woke up at 5. By 5:45, the power was off. We had no power for the first 3 hours of the day. It's just like what it is. So I was like, okay, well, do what I can, contact my clients, do what I can, move forward. And in the acceptance, it only took 3 hours to come back on, which is still a lot of time, but at least it wasn't like 12 hours or 46 hours and 48 hours like we've had before, right? We have to transit through the difficult stuff in order to get to the good stuff. They always have that saying, nothing that is worth having is easy. Okay. She says here, we're coming to an end here. When you are feeling lost, alone, scared or confused, call to me. I am the eternal mother, mother of all mothers, and I will be there for you. You are never alone. You are so loved and cherished and needed. We are all here for you, and we love you. You are perfect exactly as you are, and it is time for you to see it. So, and as she said that, I didn't even get a chance to really say thank you to her. She just everything just came back to normal, and I was back in my room, and it was all back to normal again. I had the most phenomenal experience. I can't believe that I did it. And I really wanted to share it. I think her messages are profound ones, and I think they're important for us to take seriously and to really focus on. Okay, I'm sorry, this reading's gone a bit longer. This energy update's gone a bit longer. But really, truly face things with love, because there is a lot out there at the moment that's really hard. And I do feel that it's being pumped in simply to generate I almost want to use the word force field of negativity, if that makes sense. Sounds a bit dramatic, I know, but it's exactly how it feels. It feels like all of the nasty stuff is coming to the surface, and it does. I mean, when you pop a pimple or when you've got an abscess or something, it has to all come to the surface and be released. And it feels like if we can see all of the stuff coming up, not as what is the norm, but as a purging, I think maybe we will deal with this a whole lot better. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly draw a card as requested. Back to front. Sorry. I have shuffled them. I just want to see if. You really can't make this up. Okay, the first card says, come to me, acting like a rose, receive abundance and desires. Okay, and what do roses do? They just gently unfold. They open up to the bees, they open up, and as they open up, they share their scent, they share their beauty. They're not trying to compete with anything in the garden, I'm being told. So if they're planted next to peonies or daffodils or irises, they're not competing. They just stand in their beauty and they allow those to come to them that will appreciate them. First card. You cannot. Oh, thank you, Spirit. You can't make this up. Mother Rose, returning to each other, compassion and humanity. Sorry, that caught me. I've got a bit emotional. Sorry. Okay, I don't know if you can actually see it there. Okay, beautiful card. The next card out is Sophia, divine plan, wisdom, intelligence within, and destiny. Okay, there's a difference. I always say that wisdom is knowledge in action. You've been given the knowledge now how to navigate this. Now, are you going to be wise enough to put it into action? That is the question. And I've just looked at my clock and it's 11:11. Okay, this is really about putting what you know into action. We all know that we need to act from a place of love, but it really is hard when you're dealing with a twat. I mean, I'm not going to say it. Right, what did I say to you about the inner child work and the whatever triggers you? The child within, inner mother, innocence, gentleness, and tenderness. Okay, guys, that's maybe, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. When we are when we are judging other people, okay, um, they are saying to me spirit, and it's not Kelso, it's a collective spirit of energy. So I can't say it's Kelso this time, it's not. It's a collective spirit of energy saying, if somebody did something just once, let's say, and it was caught on camera, but that was your child, that was your baby, and they were absolutely slaughtered by it, how would you feel towards that situation? How would you respond to how people are treating them? Every person on this planet is somebody's child, somebody's brother or sister, somebody's aunt or uncle. Okay, really learn to respond from a place of what is it? And it's very quick for us to say. It's very quick for us to say, my family wouldn't be here. Well, my child would never do that. We all do stupid shit. I mean, my God, if only you people knew what I did when I lived in London. Like, seriously stupid shit. Right? Um, so again, love comes without judgment. It comes without judgment. So maybe just try and, if you are struggling to deal with something, try and see it from that perspective. Because this does talk about the inner mother. That's got to do with our inner healing, right? About remothering ourselves. But it also talks about maybe just looking at how you would perceive things if you were the person's mother. Okay. Guys, I really hope that you enjoy this. I had to share it. It was just so beautiful. It has honestly been one of the most incredible experiences of my life. And I'm really honored that I had that time with her yesterday. Um, I don't know if more of these will be coming up. I sure as shit hope so, because it was absolutely incredible. I'm sending you all so much love, as always. Um, and I will be back soon. I know that the spirit guides want to do a reading, a message from your spirit guides. That will probably go out, probably not tonight, but probably tomorrow. We'll just see how my timing goes. Okay. So I'm sending you lots of love. Have the most beautiful week. And don't forget that you are worthy and you are loved and that you are needed. So act accordingly. Big loves.